first author tonight is Justine Chan. Justine Chan is a writer, poet, and singer-songwriter from Chicago. And Should You Lose All Reasons is her first book. Her work has appeared in Baltimore Review, Beecher's, Booth, Poetry on Buses, and Midwestern Gothic, among others. She holds an MFA in creative writing from the University of Washington and has worked many seasons as a park ranger for the National Park Service. Please welcome Justine Chan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Bushwick Book Club, for inviting me. Shinyi Pai for inviting me to be part of this experience. I am 5'5" and a Chinese American woman wearing a long white Victorian nightgown-like dress for the people on YouTube. And thank you to all of you for coming out. And I know it's been a very rainy day, and it can be hard to come out to stuff, but I appreciate that you're here. And thank you to Chiku, Craig, and Drea for writing a song based on my book. It means a lot to me. I also wanted to acknowledge that we are on the past, present, and future homelands of the Coast Salish people, mainly the Duwamish. And as guests on this land, it's also our responsibility to learn as much as we can about the history and the land, and also to take care of this place. And we can learn more by visiting nativeland.ca, as well as RioRentDuwamish.org. And there's also this really fantastic book called Project 562 by Matika Wilbur that's got photography and talks about all different tribes. If you're not from Seattle, it's worth checking out. And then there's also the city of Seattle has a volunteer program called Adopt a Street, and it's really, I think it's fun, but you get to pick up trash in your neighborhood and feel empowered and make the world a better place. So do check that out. All right. I'm going to read from an excerpt from the first poem in my book called If You Turn Us Into Stars, We Will Turn You Into the Wild Coyote. Because the air is so hot, full of rasping, the land so full of landmarks and stories you can't even begin to know. Because you feel some part of you was, is, will always be secret. Because the crickets are madness, a roar that fades to silence if you forget to listen. Because you beg, you knock on doors, you don't know when to stop or how to begin. You are too young, too old for your own good. Because in the mornings, something cries, screeches helpless along the canyon walls, as if being torn apart by teeth or talons. A gray fox that was, they tell you, but not why the sound. Because you're always hungry, thirsty, weeping, raging, mad. Because you love summer, the fever of it, the mind gone melty, the longest day of the year, the sun so searing, lined up with stones, everything solstice, but not the death of it. Because you think in terms of saving or needing to be saved. Because sometimes the light gleams soft pink over basalt-striped hills of iron oxidized green and straight-cut mesas and cliffs, and you stand tall on a dirt road on the top of such a mesa, and your bike tire is completely flat. Because you are so afraid of being mediocre, of not being special, of whatever glory your life holds is already behind you, and you look back. Because the campfire smoke lingers in your hair, evergreen and juniper, and you lean into it. Because you're afraid of people leaving, believe that you need to be the one leaving, going, gone. Because you think you know a place having been there a day or so. The streets, the people, the food. You like the siestas, the times when everyone else is asleep and you're out wandering, awake, buzzed on sugary sangria and flamenco in the rowdy basement. Because the doves, always unseen, make such wounded noises, and the crows are the same no matter where, and the wild turkeys run scaly-legged through the ferns like velociraptors, leaving shimmering square black feathers in their wake. Because you are most cruel to yourself, because you paralyze yourself. One version, you lug around a typewriter in a suitcase, wear all black, gesture wildly when talking at parties, a lit cigarette always in hand. You read on the fire escape, jump into taxis. You call yourself, without that consciousness, that hesitation, a poet. And you actually write every day, if that's what it takes. You don't try to make anyone else happy, and you don't care what anyone else thinks. Because you don't belong here, up in the night sky with the rest of us. You are not allowed to feel sorry for yourself. Because soon, winter will fall over the desert, snow soft on the sagebrush and manzanita trunks and baked lands. Because soon after, spring, and the snowmelt rush and waterfalls ephemeral, and the river will overflow its banks. The river will carry trees and boulders down. The river will take it all down because you love this brushy country so much. This is where you will stay, live, be, and you can never come up. You will run around the brush all night. You will kick in your sleep. You will wake up cold. You are nobody without your uniform, without your hide, bare your teeth. You will wonder about other wild deserts with all their beautiful names. The Sonoran, Mojave, Great Basin, sprawling, bristling, untouchable. Read about them, dream of them, their salt flats and sages, the rush of dried inland seas hallowed. Dream of saguaro and tiny cottontails. Dream of cliff-dwelling palaces in pale yellow sandstone at sunset, the light gauzy and faintly lavender. Hand and toe holds, ladders made of juniper trunks. You will run and run until you run out of sweat and salt and your hands go numb. You will always feel not fully one thing or another, but a matter, monster of failed fractions, strange chimera, come here, shaking. You will stay on earth while the stars tilt and the sun sallies round and your friends move away to the coast. The sacred datura will bloom, ghostly, through the night and smell so sweet, and there will be poisoned dreams. Thank you so much.
Justine Chan.
It don't matter what your age is, all the rages, right here at the Bushwick Boat Club.